Hello, Cheryl Wimperis here from Life on Point Yoga Studio and Yoga Teacher Training Course. So we are going to have a little look at the feeling of fear of teaching yoga after you've done your Yoga Teacher Training Course. Now, this can be quite common. We're going to have a little look at some strategies to help you cross that block, that wall that you're feeling, because there are some very simple ways through this. So very often it might sound strange because everybody's different, everybody learns different. Generally, after a Yoga Teacher Training Course, this is your blue sky experience. Everything's flown wonderfully. You've had loads of teaching experience. You've been exposed to loads of feedback and loads of practice classes, and you feel ready. So you qualify, you graduate, and then you're just like, yes, I want to teach. I want to run out there and teach. And that really is a reality for a lot of people. They're so excited. They feel ready. They're ready to take on their new career. But there are other people as well that have maybe had some interference within their flow of the learning process, and maybe like sickness, family issues, work related things, just life, just things can come up, and it just interrupts the flow and the concentration of energy that's going into the end goal of teaching. Now, there are also other reasons. It's not all external. There's also interruptions internally in our belief system and our self-image. So we're gonna have a little look at some very practical things that you can do to help move you through this. So there are two areas to work on if you are feeling stuck and feeling lacking confidence, feeling fear of now going out and teaching and standing in front of a class all by yourself without the comfort of a yoga teacher training group and your mentor. So here are some things to consider if you are feeling in that space, and don't worry, because you can get yourself through it. You absolutely can, but there are a few little tweaks that we need to have a look at. So it boils down to two areas of things that you need to practice. So first of all, it's the practical side. I have a little document here that I will attach to this so that you can absorb it as well if you want that. So one is the practical side of things, and two, like your class plans and the modifications, understanding hands-on, like all of that practice, like the teaching methodology. And then the second side is the more subtle side, and this is what people often struggle with. So this is your inner world, and there are very practical things to approach both of them so that you can move through this fear. So the practical side, check you understand your class plans. Do you really understand how they flow? Have you written them out, or do you have like a sequence of class plans that you can follow just whilst you're finding your voice? Do you understand really how to intellectually sequence a class plan or sequence a flow so it makes sense and it's safe? Where are the gaps in your knowledge? Is it the anatomy of yoga? Is it maybe having enough vocabulary whilst you're teaching? Is it a lack of teaching practice? Maybe you have just kind of sat and absorbed. This can happen quite a lot on online courses. And you haven't had the practice of teaching it out. Do you understand your scripts like inside out for each of the poses, how to describe them, what they're about, what's the meaning of the pose? So that's very practical, and that is just a case of you being very disciplined with your time and going through that and really combing through it and practicing. Just 15 minutes a day will really make a huge transformation in your confidence. Now, the second side is much more subtle, and that's what I really want to focus on today. So this is about your self-image, and maybe it's not been focused on in your course or your yoga nidra practice. Are you really using that in the way that we need to use yoga nidras to rewire our inner belief system? Are you meditating? Are you really training your mind to come under your control? Are you really practicing a meditation practice twice, morning and evening, to really start and seal your day in a way so you are controlling your mind? Are the 8 limbs fully considered in your practice? that is a much more subtle layer, which often is being neglected or just not been given as much, focus on the journey. And that is where the confidence, like the building yourself, comes from. So that's what we're going to have a little look at today. So yoga teacher training, what the skills that you learn through developing a yoga practice and becoming a teacher are intrinsically linked with becoming a business builder. It's an amazing system because you have to work on yourself to run a business. You have to be able to control your mind and work through pressure to build a business. You have to be able to multitask. You have to be able to be the eye of the storm when you've got lots of things to juggle with life and everything. And that is what yoga is teaching you, to come back to your center, to come back to understanding who you are, to understanding the ego and how to evolve and how to grow and how to turn our awareness inwards. So it's a beautiful match. Yoga and business is a beautiful blend because yoga teaches you the inner skills for being a strong leader, for having the confidence to stand in front of a room and deliver something that you love and something that people need. So understand what's happening when we feel the fear. So we covered this in module 8 of our course because we're leading into this space of starting to teach now. Understand the amygdala fear response. What's happening in your nervous system when you feel the fear. Understand that it's a chemical response. Understand that it is an inner response and you can control that as well. So your self-image is who you believe you are based on what you perceive you can and can't do and your experiences in the past and how they have unfolded, which solidify your belief of who you think you are, of what you think you can and can't do. So like attracts like. If you think that energy attracts energy, so if you are feeling confident in the room, that is going to create an air of confidence within the whole space. And if you come into the room a little like worried and self-doubting, yes, I'm sure you will have beautiful supportive people around you going, come on, like you can do this, we're here for you. But for those people that don't know you, that fear will ricochet, that just kind of sense of unevenness, like on the ground, will just ricochet a little bit into your class. So we don't want that. We want to feel secure before we get to that point of stepping in the room. So here are a few strategies. So first of all, work on your mind chatter. So if you've done a yoga course, maybe you've had a gap and you want to teach, but you're feeling a little bit lacking in confidence, come back to the essentials of what yoga is about, your mind, controlling your senses, controlling your mind. So start meditating. You have to do like a whole preparation in yourself before just throwing yourself into this new version of yourself. Start meditating morning and evening. Start your day like you are in control. You are controlling your mind. You are telling it what's going to happen. You are telling it how to respond. You are just calming the fluctuations of your mind, because when you have the fear response and your body goes like, oh God, we've got something that steps me out of my comfort zone is about to happen, like teaching. When that starts to happen, that response through your body, your mind is going to fire up all of the reasons why not to do it, because you're going to forget your scripts, you're going to forget your class plan, you're not going to know what to say or to give this modification. Like your mind will start coming up with all the reasons why not to do it, and your ego is there to keep you safe, and your ego knows you in the position of being the student where you feel safe. It's like, okay, there's no alarm bells here, nothing can go wrong. But once you start evolving and stretching yourself, you're going to have those responses. You are going to. And the only way that you move through them is to come back to your yoga practice. Breathe, calm yourself, come back to your center. I'm calm. I trust myself. I can do this. Trust the knowledge that your body has absorbed through your course. calm the fluctuance in your mind, and that starts with daily meditation first of all, and you will feel such a shift in all of your life. Meditation, absolutely start there. Your yoga nidra practice, remember, like, and this should be a massive thing in your course. We spend a lot of time on this in our module 8, understanding like what's happening in whilst we practice yoga nidra. Yes, on some level it's nice just to let go and relax and experience samadhi, and wow, I mean there's quite a lot in that, but when you understand also the science of what's happening, you are entering into theta brain waves. Therefore you are in a space where the ego is removed, that mind chatter is removed, because you are relaxed. Your body is in a state of relaxation. So you are accessing the theta brain waves, which they help you creatively problem solve. So if you have problems in your life, things like emotional things you're working through, that's the state you want to get in, to be able to rewire things at a very, very subconscious level. Your subconscious mind is open in that stage. So you can practice visioning in your yoga nidra because you're in the perfect mental state through your brain waves of planting new seeds, of planting the outcomes that you want to create. So in that moment, so before you do it, set your intention and really think about this. So let's say you want to start your first class, right? Imagine yourself, really be the eyes that are looking through and you are seeing, let's say 5 bodies on the floor, Shavasana, beautiful, all breathing, your words are coming out. There's a beautiful atmosphere in the room. The incense is on, it smells good, it feels good, and you feel good being there, being that version of you. You are projecting yourself forwards and you are feeling good about it. Now, your subconscious mind responds to feelings. So get the vision crystal clear and imagine like your class is finished and everybody's coming up to you going, oh, Suzanne, thank you. That was so nice. I feel really refreshed after that. And my back pain has eased. I feel like 2 inches taller. That was really lovely. I can't wait for the next class. Like, really experience that in your mind. Craft that vision in your mind. And when you enter into your yoga nidra state, when you are in the state where we're not asleep, we're not also in our conscious thinking mind, we are in the middle, we are in that space between sleep and awakefulness, and that's our subconscious mind. So once you get into that space and you feel light, you feel good, you feel open and receptive, plant those images very gently, very subtly. This isn't a forceful practice at all. This is what your yoga nidra is for. It's to rewire, on a very internal level. When you want to make it an active process, obviously you can also just relax, and there's so much going on in your body when you just do that. But if you are working on things, working on moving through things, that's the time to do that. So place the feelings of, it feels good, so that when you think about it in your day-to-day life, okay, I'm going to start teaching, you don't have, over time, you don't have the fear response. The amygdala isn't so fired up. You don't have that chemical reaction run through your body. You are more feeling into this newer version of yourself. This is very practical, and this is literally life-changing. This can really, really change the way you think and feel about things that are approaching in your life. So also simple steps so that's a very subtle level. That is the inner work that you must do when you're doing these kind of things. Now, on a practical level, whilst you're working on that, just take small steps. Find a collaboration partner, and like maybe yoga and sound bath, and share the class. Utilize both of your communities. Bring something unique to the yoga class, like yoga with a sound bath on the end. How amazing is that? yoga with a head massage on the end, and share the teaching. Yoga, you might just have 2 yoga teachers in the space. One can be doing hands-on while somebody's teaching. Maybe you do the first Shavasana section, and then the other person swaps and they do the seated section, and then you swap, and then you do the dynamic section, and then you swap, and then they do the balance section. So it just takes the pressure off, and you have each other to lean onto whilst you're building your networks, your classes, and your confidence mostly. Just do the teaching in chunks if you're working like that. Start teaching in spaces where people are already there. So speak to gyms, speak to studios, corporate yoga. The people are already there. You don't have to look for people, but you do still need to pick up the phone and go, hey, are you interested in corporate yoga? Or do you want any cover for your gym? Please put my name down on your list. Or, hi, studio, I'm a certified yoga teacher. If you ever need any cover, here's my CV, put it on file. Like, you still need to do that. You've still got to ask, and that's a whole nother video. But again, you could use your yoga nidra to help you get to the point and see that conversation going really well, positive outcomes, and you feel like, really good in yourself by doing it. Start with one person. So before you start, come back to your vision you planted. Oh, sorry, I'm reading some notes that I've written, but I don't understand what I've written. Yeah, so practice with one person. Get your class plan out and practice it until you really understand it. Practice your class plan on one person. Practice your voice, practice your tone, practice hands-on, practice adjustments. Less is more when you're starting out as well. Don't overcook the cake. Just be present, breathe, and then get some feedback at the end. Amazing. Yeah, and then try that with 2 people. Try that with 3 people. Look for a small space. So get used to the process of exchange. This is something that people that are new to being self-employed sometimes struggle with, and it becomes a hurdle. Again, there's a whole video to this as well. So find a small space that doesn't cost a lot. It's just small. You're just getting going. This first year is about you building confidence. So look for a small space that doesn't cost a lot to rent, but just has a nice feel. You feel comfortable in that space. And understand how many people you need to cover the cost of that space. Generally, it's about 2. For a small space, it might be 2 or 3. If you're charging, I'd say 2 people. If you're charging £10 for a class and the space is £20 for an hour, that's 2 people. Get used to just thinking, okay, that's 2 people to cover the cost of the room and the rest is profit. Rather than thinking, oh my God, who's going to come to my class? Am I going to, fill the mats? Am I, rather than thinking negatively about it, just think very logically, not emotionally. Like, right, I just need 2 people to, I need 2 people to fill the space and the rest is profit. Because, think logically, calm your mind, be in control of your mind. Think logically, not emotionally. And when you find yourself going, oh my God, nobody's going to come, it's like you've lost the pathway of what you're doing. This is what we're doing. This is how many people I need to cover the cost, and the rest is profit. The rest is paying for my service. And just move forwards with that thought. Don't need any more thoughts in your mind. Just control your mind on those thoughts alone, and then get to work with marketing. And there's another video on that. So don't forget as well, you want to be earning a living. You want to be paying for your bills. You want to be paying for your holidays, paying for your mortgage, which you absolutely can as a yoga instructor. Absolutely can, but you must diversify your offerings. You must, otherwise you will just be burnt out if all you're doing is lots and lots of classes every day, because there's a cap to it. There's a capacity cap. So there is lots of way you can grow as a yoga teacher exponentially as well. You can absolutely have a beautiful career as a yoga teacher. But you need to bridge these two sides within yourself: the practical side, which is, you know, the practice, the thriving, the money, and then also your desire to serve and be of help and contribute. Yeah, it doesn't mean that you need to be doing things for free. It's a business, it's a service, and you have children to feed, you have a life to support, no different to a doctor, to a dentist. It's exactly the same. It's a service, and a yoga service is really important right now. Lots of people out there need you. They need you to do this practice so that they can get the help that they need. So have a little look through this document. It's very easy to digest. Start with your meditating, start with calming your mind. Go back to your yoga nidra practice, understand what that's all about. There's probably a lack of understanding of what you're actually doing in yoga nidra, because that is there to help you develop and move yourself through emotional blockages. Understand your ego. Like, what is that about? Why, you know, it's just that part of me that's keeping me safe, keeping me, okay, I know who I am here, but once I start growing, oh, anything could happen. Understand what that process is all about. This is the inner work. See the vision very clearly in your mind, the outcome that you want to happen, and the feeling. And then look for the practical side of it. Find a collaboration partner, pick up the phone, call places where they have an audience, they have students already there looking for you and your service. And then starting a bit more of the self-employment kind of pathway. Just find a small space, get used to just saying to yourself, okay, there's 2 people that I need to cover that space. Yeah, and the rest is my service and that money, that energy exchange. That's it. Don't focus on the worry, because that will just generate more worry. Focus on the practical steps, the practical side and the more subtle side, which is everything that yoga teaches you anyway. Now, if you want any more help with that, if you want some mentoring, if you want to have a look at our business program that takes you through all of these little steps, getting yourself up and running, then do reach out and I will help you in whatever way I can. Take care. Bye.